Hey everyone, today we are talking about the one and only full PRL on Zwift. It is the single longest route on Zwift, featuring 173.5 kilometers and 11 laps of Box Hill here in London. Before we talk about pacing, nutrition, all the good stuff, taking a break, staying motivated for the longest ride in Zwift, we're going to talk about bike choice first, because that's going to be the first thing that you're all thinking about before you start. So I personally went for a TT bike and a lightweight wheel setup. I think in hindsight, I should have kept the TT bike, but gone for a more all-round wheel setup. Of course, if you have the Tron unlocked, I don't think you can go wrong with that. That's a good go. That being said, I did recommend the TT bike just because you don't have to worry about drafting, you get more XP, and you also don't have to worry about any of the power-ups and when to use them. So personally, if you're in the TT position in real life riding, it makes sense to have the TT bike on as well. Just gets you in that right mindset. Alright, so we've just started going up Box Hill for the first of 11 times today. It is 3 kilometers long, 4.3%, and we're going to be playing this in 2-speed, just so you can see this happen while we talk. So my second tip is that you aim for consistent splits. Either go for time or go for a certain wattage, but this is going to be something you're holding from anywhere between 5 and 7 hours. So zone 2 is where it's at, 50 to 70% of your FTP. If you haven't done an FTP test, I highly recommend you do either the ramp test or the 20-minute FTP on Zwift. It's a great way to get good benchmarks for your training. So you're going to want to make sure that you're nice and fueled and hydrated throughout this ride so that you're not bonking and you have the energy to finish strong here. So over the course of 6 hours, I ended up eating a peanut butter jelly sandwich, 4 bananas, 10 dates, and a Lara bar, which essentially is just more dates, as well as some peanuts, just so that I could have some nice and easy high-calorie food to keep me going. People say that you're going to want to consume anywhere from 50 to 100 grams of carbs. Sure, that's a good benchmark, but what does that mean for you today? I would aim for at least a banana an hour and something else. That way you've got a steady stream of glucose flowing into your bloodstream, and you've got that energy to keep you going. In terms of water, you're going to want to be drinking at least, at least half a bottle an hour, but a lot of that's really dependent on who you are, how much you sweat, based on how the temperature is on the room, as well as how much ventilation you have going on, or the fans on full blast. I ended up drinking about 6 bottles of water, so 1 bottle of water an hour, just to give you a bit of a benchmark here. Alright, so I've fast forwarded to the top of the first lap of Box Hill. As you can see, it flattens out, gets into a bit of a descent before you go through the KOM banner, and then it'll get up flat again, and then you'll go up to about 8% before you start going downhill. My next tip, of course, is that you get off the bike as soon as you're going downhill. Of course, in a TT bike, you don't know if you're in an aero tuck or not, but even so, you should be getting off the bike, walking around, stretching, going to the bathroom, getting some water, just doing something off the bike, because you're spending a heck of a lot of time on the bike, and trust me, your body will thank you. So I fast forwarded about 5 hours now. We're reaching 6 hours. This is the top of the 11th lap, and we've got 15 kilometers to go through London after this, following the downhill. But I just wanted to show you the downhill. This is when you get off the bike. The other thing too is you're going to want to make sure that you get a break in. I took a break around lap 6, got off the bike for about 10-15 minutes, and stretched, laid down, and made sure that I could just disconnect from the bike for a little bit longer than 2 to 3 minute downhill, because it is a very, very long time on the bike. Alright, let's talk about staying motivated, which I think is very hard to do on this course because you've got 11 laps of the same thing, and then you're going through London and coming right back up that hill. I think even if you don't normally watch movies, I highly recommend you do it. I ended up binge watching a season on Netflix, so that went by really well. Aside from that, I would just emphasize the taking of the breaks, just so you're coming off and you're looking away from the screen once in a while. 6 hours of screen time is a lot for anyone. But that being said, at the end of the day, you get to ride the full PRL and you get to do the longest ride on Zwift, so win-win. Well, now that you've heard all these tips and tricks, let's see you out in Zwift and ride on.